Hello and welcome to Soul Guidance with Adriana. This is an intuitive message for whoever needs it. I'm going to start with some cards that I pulled out just before, and if it feels right, I will be creating an extended at the end of this reading. The link will be in this description below if that feels right. So we're going to start with the Nine of Air. We've got the Ten of Wands in the middle, and then the Five of Earth. This is an interesting progression. We started from the Five of Earth, feeling despair, feeling like you're kind of at your wits' end. At the bottom of a dark place, where there was a series of events that unfolded to get you down to that dark place. And some of it could have been stopped early on, could have been nipped in the bud. But instead of nipping it in the bud, you just kind of slid down. And it felt like there was no help around you. It felt like there was no support, and you kind of didn't know where to turn. And you've managed to crawl out of the hole. You've managed to get yourself out of that dark place with the Ten of Fire, but it's not easier, right? It still feels like you're kind of still having to very deliberately put your feet on the ground, and it just doesn't feel like the burden you're carrying around has lifted at all. It feels like you're able to move forward, but just inches at a time. And this is taking a toll on your psyche. It is having you dissolve into this Nine of Air energy. And I almost feel like it's very descriptive on this card, because all of these flies around, they're nuisances, right? This Ten of Fire is doing the best she can. You're doing the best you can. And then, now your mind is starting to attack you. So your mind has you in this energy of worry, and I'm going to say delusion, and possibly going into nightmare. This is a self-created energy that has to do with a lack of trust or a lack of faith, a lack of just kind of lack in general, looking at what might happen or what you don't have or what's going to happen. It's that energy of nightmare where it's not true, but it's so scary and it feels so real that it might as well be true. And what can happen with this energy is if you keep worrying, if you keep going into that space of what isn't there or what might happen that is not going to be good, you're going to end up attracting it. Okay? And so it's like you're adding another complication to a hard situation that you're doing your best to get out of. And this situation is testing every ounce of your strength. But what I find really interesting in the language of these cards is we've got one fairy with her eye closed and one fairy with her eyes open. And so it's almost like if you can just keep your focus, if you can almost be like a horse with blinders on, if you can just keep your focus on what it is that you need to do, and rather than what you're afraid might happen, or you're kind of projecting yourself into the future, you just keep focusing on what you need to do one step at a time, and that's going to work a lot better for you. I'm going to draw two more cards for the lesson, what the spiritual lesson is at this time, because that can sometimes help give you a little bit more clarity as to why you're feeling what you're feeling. For me, when I know the lesson, it really helps me kind of not take things so personally. So I like to pass on that knowledge to you as well. In the extended, we will get more into advice, and I think there's going to be an additional information that's going to want to come through to illuminate some of this struggle right now. But I will leave you with the lesson, which is Three of Earth and Elder of Water. I don't know why my throat is closing up right now. There's something that doesn't want to be said or is afraid to come out. So just give me a second here. This is about the correct balance of giving and receiving support. Elder of Fire knows how to channel energy from chaos into order, and this Three of Earth is talking about really building something with others. So there's an accountability for what you're building. So this is about taking more accountability for your actions instead of worrying so much about what the future is going to look like or trying to project yourself into where things are going. This is about understanding what you can do now and what you can do to show up as a source of support and as a recipient of support. Okay, the Ten of Wands wants to do this all on her own. She's crawled out of a place where no one was helping her. That's this one, the Five of Earth, where all these red wolves are closing in around her and she's got no way out. But this Ten of Fire has figured out a way to get out. And in that getting out, it's now time to understand that you're not on your own, that you actually are with other people, and there is an energy around you that has always been willing to give you support. There is an energy around you, a physical energy, that has always wanted to be there for you. But in your, I'm going to say, temporary madness, you have pushed them away. Okay? So this is about drawing back, understanding when to give, when to receive, and keeping these in the appropriate balance. Okay, I'm going to go more specifically into some practical advice in the extended. You can find the link in the description below. It seems so trite to say, best of luck with this, because this is a hard spot. But the important thing is that you did get yourself out, and you've just got to keep taking one more step. Okay, I'll see you soon. Link in the description below, and I'll see you next time on another reading.